Philomena. Welcome to my channel. First of all, I'm a former trade publishing editor and a writer working on her debut novel with a literary agent. So here on my channel, I share all my thoughts and tips on writing and publishing, but today's a bit of an introduction. I want to get you guys to get to know me a bit better. So I started this channel in 2016, so that's 9 years ago. Like, I actually can't believe it's been that long. Like, I feel so old saying it, but it was a travel channel back then. It's had so many names. I've changed the name so many times. Hopefully this one stays because it's actually got my name in it. But yeah, back then I was traveling so much. Like, I finished uni and was just going all across the world. I still love traveling. It's like a big thing for me. I've been to 40 countries. I want to go to a whole lot more, and hopefully I get to do it in the next few years. But anyway, I was loving life, and it's when I moved to Korea that my channel started to pick up a bit. I got to 2,000 subscribers, which I'm very thankful for. It was really exciting time. I know I dropped off in the pandemic. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can't travel anymore. I just started putting out random videos. I didn't know what to make anymore. And if you still stayed after all that, then girl, you're actually a real one. But anyway, travel had been my mainstay, my lifeblood, you know. But the other constant in my life that I never really spoke about on YouTube has been reading and writing. I've got collections of journals dating back to when I was a teenager. They're so cringe to read now. But it's development, isn't it? Like, back in the day, I used to take out 10 books from the library every single week. Shout out Sutton Library because you were the GOAT. Take out 10 books. And I remember picking books back then. Like, right now I tend to look at like what other people are reading, social media, charts, stuff like that. Back then I would walk into the library, I'd be like, that looks interesting, gonna pick that up, and I would read them all. There was a time in my life where I just felt really, really lonely. I had some hard times and I just took on all this deep loneliness. I mean, loneliness doesn't ever really go away. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it can become part of your identity, and books gave me comfort and a way out. They made me realize I wasn't alone. You know, as cliche as that is, I know it is, but here are these characters expressing feelings that I've never been able to put words to myself. And it brought me a whole lot of comfort, a whole lot of joy, and just made me feel seen. And that's genuinely the reason why I write today. And yeah, so as a writer, I started writing in journals, and then when I moved to Korea in 2017 to 2019, I began writing travel and culture articles for a magazine in my city at the time, which was Gwangju in the south of South Korea. With fiction though, I'd never really written it. I'd never given a good go at it. I think I tried a couple of short stories in Korea as well, but never done a novel. So I decided to take on the acclaimed Faber writer novel 6-month course. I joined that in 2021 until 2022, and that's when I started writing my debut novel. The idea popped into my head one day then, and I worked on it over the year following that. One thing it did do for me is at the end of the course they send out a short snippet of the start of your novel to a wide group of agents, and I managed to build agent interest from that. I was the person that got the most interest from agents from that snippet, so I was really happy with that. And I signed an agent very quickly after finishing the whole thing. I ended up signing with a different agent that wasn't off the Faber course actually, but anyway, so worked with that agent for over a year, but I think a year and a half. We were editing, revising. I learned a lot about the revision process. I learned a lot about what I don't like. I learned a lot about the boundaries I should have learned to maintain. Girl, I was bending over backwards. We wrote 4 drafts together, which blows my mind. Like, I know that you have to write many drafts. I know it's a thing, and I know my novel was not in the best shape. When I look back now, I'm like, you signed an agent off of that? You know what I mean? But worked with this agent for a while, working on all of these drafts, until at some point, when we got to this 4th draft, I just felt overloaded. I was like, this is too much. I need to write this novel for me. I need to bring the spark back, because it started to feel like it wasn't mine anymore. So this time I really worked on it to make sure it made sense to me, first of all, and just fit the things I wanted it to. Sent this to the agent. She didn't like it, or at least she said she couldn't figure out what it needed anymore. Maybe I need the eyes of a different agent. Those are almost verbatim her words. So she ended up dropping me, essentially. I found a new agent quite quickly after that. This is one of those times where I was like, this is God in action in my life, because I found this agent. She was actually a friend of mine, and she's she's an amazing person. I respected a lot anyway. So I felt very lucky to connect with her, and I still feel really blessed. We're working on it. I've been working in scientific editing when I first moved back to the UK from Korea. I got a job almost straight away. I think it was like the month I got back from traveling around Africa. And yeah, by the way, I say that I went to like 5 or 6 countries in Africa. I'm not saying Africa as a monolith. I just want to get in there and just say that. I got a job in scientific editing. I made a whole video about it actually here on YouTube, because I took a 5k pay cut to join Simon & Schuster UK working in fiction, which was really exciting. I was working across commercial fiction, thrillers, general fiction, women's fiction. I learned so much. There's an incredible fiction team there as well, and I managed to work my way up the ranks because I was starting at the bottom. I was there for I think about 3.5 years, worked my way up to assistant editor. I published 3 books all of my own, and I co-published another that I was very proud of, just because I was the first person to read it. It was not long into my career that I'll never forget, and I loved the book so much, and I recognise Elvin's talent. Just gonna go ahead and say it, like, Elvin's amazing. Small Joys was one of my favourite projects to have been a part of. So yeah, I loved so much about the job, but things changed for me not long after I got my promotion. So I don't know what changed. Like, again, I can only say it's God that did something for me, because it suddenly became like impossible for me to ignore the more, how do you say, crunchier aspects of working at a prestigious publisher in London. Like, for example, being the only black woman acquiring books. Some of those more difficult parts that I'd managed to ignore and push through and was striving to like better in the future and all of that, it just was hard to ignore. And as my mental health started to suffer, those bad parts started to grow in terms of how they made me feel. And I started to notice how much working there had just generally crushed my sense of self, my confidence in myself, my writing, my personality, my taste. Like, I just didn't feel like myself anymore. It was crazy. And I literally had a mental health breakdown, like a panic attack at the thought of going back to work. I actually had to take a month off work, signed off from a doctor, and just try and rest and recuperate. Like, I went to my mum's, just was there with her because my siblings weren't there, so just me and her, probably the first time in my life, and it just was really restorative and nice. She actually lives by the beach now, so I was just going on these long walks by myself. Like, it was proper sad girl stuff, but I needed it. Like, I'm married, by the way, and my husband's been incredible support through all of this. I would not have been able to start this new life without him, but even then I was like, okay, babe, you're going to be at home. I'm going to go to my mum's. That was really restorative. And after that, I came back. I threw myself back into work very quickly. It started on a tapered work thing. Before I knew it, I was just normal full-time. But in the end, I just made the really difficult decision to leave. It just was too much. Like, after coming back, I realised it wasn't going to change for me. I just had to make the change for myself. And so I decided to make the difficult decision to leave. I resigned in January last year with barely a plan, just a vague notion of becoming a freelance editor. I'd seen other people doing it. I hired freelancers for my team. I felt like I could do it, but I didn't see very many people that looked like me doing it. The freelancer representation in the publishing industry is woefully white, so much so that publishers actually fund opportunities for non-white people to learn and train as copy editors and proofreaders. Like, it's a thing. Nonetheless, I did it, and I feel like I'm really making it work. I'm coming into my own as a businesswoman. By the time I post this video, it will be 1 year since I officially launched my business, Mid-Year Editorial. Mid-Year is a phonetic spelling of my own in Chi. I'm a Ghanaian, so Mid-Year is like mine, right? And so I just made it phonetic so that people always end up saying it. Actually, hearing like people say Mid-Year is like, oh, you speak Tree. I mean, girl, I barely speak Tree, but it's really nice. So yeah, that was just a bit of a brief introduction to me on this channel. I'm going to be sharing lots of creativity, writing tips, editing tips and tricks, some industry insights, interviews, as well as some more entertaining content, vlogs, day in the lives. I want people to see representation in freelancer life and in successful freelancer life. I've worked on my business skills this year, really upskilling that whole holistic thing because I want to make this work. I want to write and I want to edit and I want to do the both together and do it successfully and do it well. And I love being a business owner. This was the right move for me. Like, you don't understand how much I've changed. Like, a lot has changed in the past year due to many things, which I'm sure I'll talk about more and more. Yeah, I really hope that this content makes sense for you. And if it does, please subscribe, hit the like, whatever you need to do. And also, if you've made it this far into the video, I need you to comment, what is the best book you've read in the last year? Like, I need to know what people are reading. I'm so curious. For me, the book that I've read twice in the past year, I think it came out a couple years ago, Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. It has been on repeat for me and I feel like I'm going to read it again at some point. Like, I just love the book so much. I love that kind of speculative fiction. It's the kind of stuff I'd love to write more of. So yeah, that's me. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you stick around for this journey. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next one. Bye!